Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be old and alone? Or maybe you've noticed how your elderly loved ones struggle with loneliness. It's more common than you think. You know, it's easy to assume that as people get older, they just slow down or maybe become less engaged with the world around them. But what's happening inside, under the surface, can be a lot more complex. They might sit in silence more often, or spend hours staring out of the window. Have you noticed the quiet moments when they seem lost in thought? Or perhaps you've witnessed their subtle attempts to mask the emptiness they might be feeling? It's a reality that too many families ignore or misunderstand. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now, think about it for a second. For many seniors, loneliness isn't just about being physically alone, it's about the silent weight it puts on their happiness, their health, and their whole quality of life. What we often overlook is how loneliness can silently chip away at their sense of purpose, their joy, even their health. It's not just about missing people, it's about missing connection. And that, my friend, can lead to a downward spiral that's harder to break than most realize. But here's the good news. What if I told you there's one simple thing your elderly loved one can do every single day to fight off that loneliness, boost their mood, and keep themselves happy and healthy? And I'm not talking about a big, overwhelming change. Just one small habit that can make all the difference. Today, we're diving into a tiny yet incredibly powerful daily habit that can truly change the way your loved one experiences their later years. Trust me, this could be a game changer. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this life-changing habit is. More importantly, you'll learn how it can help seniors keep loneliness at bay and stay mentally and emotionally fulfilled, even if they're living alone. You'll have the tools to easily integrate this habit into their daily routine, and believe me, it's simpler than you think. So, if you're here today because you want to learn more about how to keep your elderly loved ones not just alive, but truly living, drop a comment below saying, "I'm here." I'd love to know who's watching and ready to make a difference. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe, so you never miss a moment of insight from Elder Mature Moments. Let's dive into this together. Key Habit 1, Daily Connection. Imagine your elderly parent, sitting alone in their living room. The TV is on, but they're not really watching it. They're just flipping through the channels, one after another. You can tell they're physically fine, there's nothing wrong with them on the surface. But something feels off. You've noticed this for a while now. They rarely pick up the phone. They don't make much effort to call anyone, or even to answer when someone rings. It's like they've retreated into their own little world, and it's becoming harder to reach them. You remember a time when they would call you every day, chat with neighbors, and even keep up with old friends. But now, it's different. The silence seems louder. And no matter how many times you visit, there's this strange emptiness that lingers. They sit, passively, waiting for something to happen, but the days just blur together. This isn't just about being alone, it's about the kind of isolation that comes with not having meaningful connections. And unfortunately, this is more common than we realize. But here's the thing, social interaction, even in small doses, is one of the most powerful ways to fight loneliness and stay emotionally healthy. And this could be the key to changing their entire outlook. Let me tell you why this matters. Studies show that regular social interaction is crucial for older adults. It can do so much more than just fill the silence. For instance, it helps reduce the risk of depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. You see, when we interact with others, especially when it's meaningful, whether it's through a phone call, a chat over coffee, or just checking in, our brains get a boost. It stimulates the parts of our brain that are responsible for emotional regulation, problem solving, and memory. And that boost can be so powerful. But it doesn't stop there. Socializing doesn't just help the brain, it also reduces stress. And we all know that stress can be a silent killer, especially in older adults. Chronic stress can lead to health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and even lower immune function. By staying socially connected, your loved ones can literally lower their stress levels, which in turn helps improve their overall health. Think about it this way: a simple conversation, even a brief one, can release feel-good hormones like oxytocin, which reduces anxiety and makes them feel more at ease. It's these small moments of connection that can keep their spirits high and make their days brighter. But here's where people often go wrong. Many families look at their elderly loved one and think, they're fine, they don't need anyone around. Or worse, they might assume that their loved one just doesn't want to be bothered. It's easy to dismiss it as just part of getting older. But that's a dangerous trap. Because while they may seem content in their silence, isolation can actually cause them more harm than you might think. Isolating oneself doesn't mean they don't want company or conversation. It often means they've lost the motivation to reach out, or they're afraid of burdening others. The truth is, no matter how independent they seem, they still need those connections, even if they don't always ask for them. Without that, loneliness can creep in and erode their mental health, sometimes even leading to depression or cognitive decline. It's the kind of thing that happens slowly, quietly, until one day, it's much harder to reverse. So, what can you do? The good news is that it's simpler than you think. Here's a small, but incredibly effective habit to start today: encourage your loved one to make at least one phone call every day. It doesn't have to be a long, in-depth conversation. It could be as simple as calling a friend to check in, talking to a neighbor, or catching up with a family member. The goal isn't to spend hours talking, but to create a routine of connection. It's about consistency. A phone call a day can go a long way in preventing feelings of isolation. And here's something even more powerful: if they aren't the ones making the call, be the one to reach out. Sometimes all it takes is the simple gesture of picking up the phone or sending a text to say, "I'm thinking of you." That act alone can remind them that they're not alone in this world, and it could spark the energy to keep reaching out. Remember, it's not about quantity, it's about consistency. Regular check-ins, even short ones, can be enough to make them feel connected and valued. And staying connected isn't the only thing we need to focus on. While social interaction is key, it's just one part of a larger picture. There's another powerful daily habit that plays an equally important role in maintaining both mental and physical well-being. Let's talk about how keeping active, physically, not just socially, can boost their overall happiness and health. It's not just about staying busy, it's about staying engaged with life in a way that keeps them strong, both mentally and physically. Key habit 2, a purposeful activity now. Picture your grandmother. You know her well, she's the one who used to fill her afternoons with painting, her canvas always alive with color. But ever since her spouse passed away, those brushes have gathered dust. You can still remember the sparkle in her eyes when she talked about her artwork, the joy she found in creating. But these days, she rarely even mentions it. You wonder why she hasn't touched her paintbrushes in years. Could it be that she's lost interest? Or perhaps, maybe it's because she just doesn't feel motivated anymore. Maybe, deep down, what's missing isn't just the paints or the time, it's purpose. She doesn't see the point of starting up again. Without something to look forward to, without something that gives her day meaning, it's easy for the passion to fade. And this happens more often than we realize. When we lose something, or someone, we can lose ourselves in the process too. The good news is, there's a way to bring that spark back. You see, research shows that having a sense of purpose is one of the most important factors for maintaining good mental health as we age. When we have a reason to wake up each day, it helps reduce feelings of emptiness, anxiety, and depression. And it doesn't need to be something grand, just a small activity or hobby can do wonders. Purpose doesn't always have to come in the form of major accomplishments. Sometimes, it's about the small, consistent things that bring us joy or fulfillment. Studies also show that these daily activities can improve self-esteem, increase happiness, and even boost cognitive function in older adults. It's not just about keeping them busy, it's about giving them something that reignites their confidence and makes them feel useful. Think about it. When we give our elderly loved ones a reason to keep moving forward, even in the smallest ways, it helps combat those feelings of isolation that can often creep in. Having something to focus on, like painting for your grandmother, or gardening, or even something like journaling, this can be their way of reconnecting with life, with their past passions, and with their sense of self-worth. It's never too late to find that spark again. Here's where many of us go wrong. It's easy to assume, they're too old for new things, or, why would they want to try something new at their age? But this couldn't be further from the truth. Research has consistently shown that seniors are more than capable of learning new skills, and in fact, they can actually thrive when they do. It's not about age, it's about mindset. If you give them the space and encouragement to try something new, you might be surprised at how quickly they embrace it. Many people underestimate how powerful hobbies can be in older age. We often think they'll just get by with the routine, or that they don't need anything more. But hobbies aren't just about filling time, they're about finding meaning. Without meaningful activities, the days can start to feel like they're blending together in a blur. So, don't let your loved ones miss out on this opportunity for growth and engagement. So, how do we introduce this to our loved ones? Start small. It's not about pressuring them to take on a big project, just begin with something manageable. You could suggest something like gardening, which not only gets them moving but also connects them with nature. The simple act of planting a seed and watching it grow can do wonders for their emotional well-being. Or maybe knitting, there's a sense of satisfaction in creating something with your hands, and it can be incredibly therapeutic. Even journaling can be a great way to start. It allows them to reflect, process emotions, and express thoughts they may not have shared with anyone. Writing about their past experiences, memories, or dreams for the future gives them a sense of purpose and connection to the world. It's all about reintroducing that spark, whether it's through creativity, learning, or simply making something beautiful with their hands. If they resist, don't push too hard. Instead, start by showing interest in the things they used to love. You can even join them. If they see your involvement, it might encourage them to get started. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about enjoyment and fulfillment. Let them take their time with it. Now, we've talked about the importance of giving your loved one a sense of purpose through activities that keep them mentally engaged. But, staying mentally active isn't the only thing we need to focus on, there's also the physical aspect to consider. Let's dive into how keeping active physically, not just mentally, can truly enhance their overall health and happiness. Key habit 3, physical movement. Think about your uncle. He used to be the first one out of bed every morning, lacing up his shoes for his daily walk around the neighborhood. He'd enjoy the quiet of the morning, taking in the fresh air, chatting with neighbors along the way. But recently, something's changed. You notice he's not walking anymore. In fact, he hardly leaves the house at all. He spends most of his days sitting in his chair, watching TV, or just staring out the window. You might think, well, he's getting older, maybe he's just tired or prefers to rest more. But if you dig a little deeper, you start to wonder, is it really just aging, or is there something more going on here? What's happening isn't just about getting older. Your uncle's reluctance to leave the house could be a sign of something that many people overlook: loss of motivation, fear of falling, or even the beginning stages of depression. It's easy to dismiss these changes as part of growing old, but the truth is, when we stop moving, it affects us in ways we can't always see at first. The less we move, the harder it becomes to get back into motion. And that's where we need to step in. Here's why this matters. Regular physical movement is absolutely essential for seniors. It's not just about fitness, it's about overall well-being. You see, when older adults stay active, even in small ways, it helps improve their mood, reduces stress, and boosts cognitive function. In fact, physical activity has been shown to reduce the risk of depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. Movement helps to keep the brain sharp and releases endorphins, which are the body's natural mood boosters. Now, I'm not talking about running marathons or doing intense workouts. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous. Even simple stretching or going for a brisk walk can work wonders. These activities get the blood flowing, improve circulation, and keep the muscles from stiffening up. It's all about maintaining that connection to movement, even in small, manageable ways. If your uncle just gets up and moves around for a bit every day, it can make a huge difference in how he feels, physically and emotionally. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that seniors should slow down completely, that rest is more important than activity. It's natural to think that with age comes the need for more rest. And yes, rest is important, but too much rest, especially when it's accompanied by inactivity, can actually be harmful. When seniors become sedentary, their muscles weaken, their joints stiffen, and their balance deteriorates. This leads to a vicious cycle. The less they move, the harder it becomes to move, and eventually, they feel more and more isolated and disengaged. And here's the thing, staying active doesn't mean pushing them to exhaustion. It's about moving in ways that feel good, and in a way that's appropriate for their abilities. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. You might think that if they're not getting up and running, then it's not worth doing, but nothing could be further from the truth. Even light movement, whether it's standing up and stretching, doing some gentle yoga, or taking a short walk, can help break up the stagnation and improve their quality of life. So, how can you help your loved one get moving again? Start by encouraging small, manageable steps. A short walk every day is a fantastic place to start. It doesn't need to be long, just a 10 to 15-minute stroll around the block can make a world of difference. And if they're hesitant, go with them. Walking together can be a great bonding experience, and it also serves as a motivator. Sometimes, the hardest part is just getting started. If they're not ready for walking, or if walking seems too daunting, look into gentle exercise classes designed for seniors. Many local community centers or even online resources offer programs specifically tailored for older adults. These classes focus on flexibility, balance, and light strength training, perfect for seniors looking to stay active without overexerting themselves. You can even try chair exercises, which are great for those with limited mobility but still want to keep their bodies in motion. And don't forget about simple activities like gardening. It's a fantastic way to get them moving, and it gives them something to focus on, plus, it has the added benefit of getting them outdoors in the fresh air. Encouraging them to get involved in these low-impact activities can make staying active feel like a natural, enjoyable part of their day. Along with staying physically active, there's another habit that plays a crucial role in your loved one's overall well-being. Just like physical movement, this next tip has the power to boost their happiness and keep them engaged with life in meaningful ways. Let's dive into how nourishing their body can nourish their mind and soul. Key Habit 4, Mindful Nutrition. Imagine your aunt. She used to be the queen of the kitchen, always whipping up delicious meals for the family. You can still remember her famous stews, the rich aromas filling the house as everyone gathered around the table. But now, things have changed. You've noticed that she's struggling to keep up with regular meals. She skips breakfast, forgets to have lunch, and when she does eat, it's often something quick and easy, if she eats at all. You're concerned. She's not the same. It's not just about the food, it's about something deeper. You wonder if she's lost the appetite she once had, or if there's something more to it. Did you know that nutrition plays a huge role in both mental and emotional health, especially for seniors? What many people don't realize is that a lack of proper nutrition can affect more than just the body. It can impact mood, cognitive function, and even the ability to handle stress. When our loved ones don't eat well, they're not just missing out on nutrients, they're also missing out on the vital fuel that keeps their brain and emotions running smoothly. So, let's dive into why mindful nutrition is so important for seniors and how you can help your loved one stay nourished, both physically and emotionally. Proper nutrition is essential for maintaining both brain function and emotional well-being. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing nutrients, and sometimes our appetite naturally decreases. However, when seniors aren't getting the right nutrients, it can lead to more than just physical weakness. It can affect their mental sharpness and emotional balance as well. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats is crucial to keeping both body and mind sharp. For example, foods high in omega-3 fatty acids, like salmon or walnuts, have been shown to support brain function and help prevent cognitive decline. Similarly, antioxidants found in fruits and vegetables protect the brain from oxidative stress, which can contribute to conditions like dementia or Alzheimer's. Additionally, protein is vital for maintaining muscle mass, which is crucial as we age. When seniors don't eat enough protein, they risk losing strength and energy, which can make everyday tasks feel more challenging. But nutrition doesn't just affect the brain, it also plays a key role in regulating mood. Deficiencies in certain vitamins and minerals, like vitamin D or B12, can lead to feelings of depression or anxiety. A well-balanced meal can be the difference between feeling drained and feeling uplifted. So, feeding their body properly doesn't just keep them healthy, it helps them stay emotionally resilient too. One of the biggest misconceptions about seniors is that they simply lose interest in food as they get older. It's true that some elderly people may have a decreased appetite, but it's important to realize that a lack of interest in food can actually be a sign of something more serious, like depression, dehydration, or an undiagnosed health condition. Sometimes, when seniors eat less, it's not because they've lost their love for food, but because they're struggling with other issues like loneliness, stress, or even pain. Another mistake many families make is assuming that if their loved one isn't eating 3 large meals a day, they're okay. But the truth is, smaller, more frequent meals can often be just as effective, if not more so, especially when it comes to seniors who might not have the appetite for larger portions. Dehydration is also another common issue. Older adults often don't feel thirsty, so they forget to drink enough water, which can lead to fatigue, confusion, and a weakened immune system. Encouraging your loved one to hydrate and eat nutritious snacks throughout the day is just as important as getting them to sit down for a full meal. So, what can you do to help your loved one with mindful nutrition? First, start by offering smaller, easy-to-prepare meals that are packed with nutrients. Think of nutrient-dense snacks like Greek yogurt with berries, a handful of nuts, or a small serving of hummus with vegetables. These are easy to eat, yet they provide essential vitamins, protein, and healthy fats. Smoothies can also be a great option. Blend up fruits, vegetables, and a little protein powder to create a delicious, nutrient-rich snack that's easy to consume, even if they don't feel like eating a full meal. Next, consider introducing a meal plan that fits your loved one's preferences. If they've always loved a particular dish, try to find ways to adapt it to be more nutritious. Whether it's adding extra vegetables, switching to whole grains, or cutting back on unhealthy fats. Keep in mind that variety is key, and the more colors on the plate, the better. Aim for a mix of greens, reds, oranges, and yellows. Each color represents different nutrients that are vital for their health. Also, hydration is just as important as nutrition. Make sure your loved one is drinking enough water throughout the day. Sometimes, a little flavoring can make a big difference. Add slices of lemon or cucumber to make water more appealing, or offer herbal teas as a warm alternative. Encourage them to take small sips frequently, even if they don't feel thirsty. Now that we've talked about the importance of nutrition for both the body and mind, let's shift gears and explore something just as important: emotional well-being. After all, it's not just about what goes into the body, but how we feel on the inside that shapes our overall health. Let's dive into how managing emotional health can make a world of difference in reducing loneliness and improving quality of life. Key Habit 5: Emotional Well-being and Self-Care. Think about your dad. He used to be so independent, always taking care of things around the house, managing his finances, and handling whatever life threw at him with a sense of pride and self-sufficiency. But recently, you've noticed a shift. He's no longer the same. It's subtle at first, just little things. He spends more time sitting alone in his chair, staring off into the distance, and rarely initiates conversations. Slowly, you begin to see the toll that loneliness is taking. He's not just physically slowing down, there's a heaviness in his demeanor. You can see it in his eyes. He's struggling with feelings of worthlessness, like he's no longer contributing, no longer needed. He brushes it off when you ask if he's okay, but deep down, you know it's affecting him. It's heartbreaking to watch someone you love feel invisible, as though the world has moved on without them. But here's the thing, emotional well-being is just as critical as physical health, especially for seniors. We often focus so much on their physical needs, but what we can forget is that their emotional health is just as important, and without it, everything else begins to suffer. Emotional well-being doesn't just impact happiness, it directly affects physical health as well. You see, when older adults are emotionally engaged and maintain a positive outlook, they're less likely to develop health issues like heart disease, hypertension, and even cognitive decline. Stress, anxiety, and depression can raise cortisol levels, which, over time, can weaken the immune system and increase the risk of chronic conditions. But when they're emotionally healthy, they're better equipped to handle challenges, physically and mentally. Having a positive mental state helps lower blood pressure, improves sleep quality, and boosts their overall immune response. A healthy emotional outlook can slow the progression of conditions like Alzheimer's or dementia, and it can even help extend their years. So, taking care of their mental health doesn't just improve their mood, it improves their life expectancy and quality of life. If your dad is struggling emotionally, it's crucial to acknowledge how deeply it impacts him beyond what's visible on the surface. His mental and emotional health plays a massive role in his overall well-being, and addressing that can lead to tremendous improvements in every other area of his life. Here's where many people go wrong. It's easy to think that emotional support isn't as urgent as meeting physical needs. You might think, as long as he's eating and getting enough rest, he'll be fine. But the truth is, neglecting their emotional needs can be just as dangerous as neglecting their physical needs. We tend to think that emotional struggles are something seniors will just get over on their own, or that it's just a phase. But when left unaddressed, those feelings of isolation or inadequacy can snowball, leading to depression, anxiety, and even serious physical health problems. It's important to recognize that mental health is just as critical as any other aspect of their care. Emotional well-being needs attention, too. It's not just a nice to have, it's essential for their overall health and happiness. So, how can you help your loved one maintain or regain their emotional well-being? Start by encouraging them to engage in relaxation techniques. Meditation is a great option for calming the mind and reducing stress. There are also breathing exercises or mindfulness practices that can be easily incorporated into their daily routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few minutes of quiet time to focus on their breath can help center their thoughts and promote inner peace. If they seem to be struggling with deeper emotional issues, don't hesitate to suggest speaking with a mental health professional. Therapy or counseling can be incredibly helpful, even for seniors who think it's too late to get help. Sometimes, just having someone to talk to, a professional or even a trusted friend or family member, can make all the difference. Encouraging them to express their feelings, even if it's difficult, can alleviate the emotional weight they're carrying. And here's something incredibly simple, yet powerful. Sometimes, just listening is the best form of support. Let your loved one know that you're there to hear them out, without judgment. Sometimes they just need someone to validate their feelings and reassure them that they're not alone. Your presence, your attention, it means more than you may realize. Now that we've talked about the importance of emotional well-being, let's dive into something equally significant. The emotional impact of these changes on you and your family. Caring for a loved one in their later years can be challenging, but understanding these habits and taking proactive steps can make all the difference. Let's explore how this knowledge can not only transform their experience, but yours as well. I know it's hard, watching a loved one struggle with loneliness and isolation. It can be heartbreaking to see someone you care about feeling disconnected, like they're fading away right before your eyes. You may feel powerless, as if there's nothing you can do to bring them back to the life they once had. But I want you to hear this loud and clear: there is always hope. It might feel overwhelming at times, but the truth is, with just a few small steps, you can make a real difference in their life. Recognizing the signs of loneliness and taking action on these small daily habits, it's not about grand gestures. It's about consistency. It's about making sure they know they're not forgotten, that they still matter. You don't need to fix everything at once, but every effort, every simple connection, every kind gesture, these things can slowly chip away at the isolation they feel and replace it with moments of joy, purpose, and meaning. I promise you, these habits, when practiced regularly, will bring light back into their life, and eventually, into yours as well. Instead of feeling helpless, remember this: knowledge and action are powerful tools. The fear of the unknown, of not knowing how to help, can be paralyzing. But when you understand these small daily habits, when you equip yourself with the tools to make a positive change, you're no longer just sitting back and hoping for things to get better. You're taking charge. Each of these habits, whether it's reaching out with a daily phone call, introducing a new hobby, or even encouraging movement, these are the things that will fill the void. They will create meaningful moments and spark connections that might have been lost along the way. You're not just addressing their physical needs, you're nourishing their spirit. And that can be incredibly transformative. So, today, I challenge you. Pick one of these habits and start it right now. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's something as simple as picking up the phone and making that call. Maybe it's encouraging your loved one to start a new activity, or even just suggesting a walk around the block. It might seem like a small thing, but believe me, it will make a world of difference. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today, right now. And see how something as simple as taking that first step can begin to shift the dynamics of their life. That small act could open the door to so many more. Look, I know it's tough. Watching our loved ones grow older, seeing them go through changes, and feeling that sense of helplessness, it's challenging, no doubt. But your love, your attention, and your support are the most powerful gifts you can offer. You're not alone in this journey, and your efforts, no matter how small, will add up in ways you can't always see right away. Stay patient. Stay loving. And remember, even in the most difficult moments, your presence and care can make all the difference. Together, you and your loved one can navigate these later years with dignity, joy, and fulfillment. So, take a deep breath and know that, while it may not always be easy, you have the power to make these years truly meaningful for them. To recap, the 5 daily habits we covered today are: daily connection, purposeful activity, physical movement, mindful nutrition, and emotional well-being. These are the foundational habits that can make a huge difference in the life of any senior. If you notice that any of these habits are missing in your loved one's life, don't wait for a better moment, take action today. It's never too late to start, and even the smallest changes can create lasting, positive impacts. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits have you noticed in your elderly loved ones? Maybe you've already seen some changes, or maybe you're just beginning this journey. Comment below and share your experience. I'd love to know how you're helping your loved ones stay connected, engaged, and fulfilled. Your insights might just help someone else who's going through the same thing. If this video resonated with you, and you're looking for more tips on caring for your loved ones in their later years, consider subscribing to Elder Mature Moments. We'll continue to share useful, real-world advice to help you navigate these important years with love, patience, and support. And, don't forget to like and share this video, It helps us reach more families who need the support and guidance we can provide. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Stay strong, stay informed, and know that the love and care you provide can transform lives, no matter the age. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and remember, every moment counts.